And now, we're going to be talking about a strange but very important topic tonight. Not a lot of people talk about it as often anymore, but it's still a big concern in our world that we live in today. Some of you may know quite a bit on global warming, the increase of Earth's temperature. But what about global cooling? Shouldn't we be worried about the Earth's temperature decreasing too? Today we have a meteorologist here to discuss more on the matter.
Thanks, Andrea. And yes, people do tend to forget about the Earth getting colder and focuses more on the Earth heating up. But the truth is that they are both a big issue in our world.
Right, so can you explain to us what global cooling is?
Well, global cooling is the exact opposite of global warming, the decrease in the Earth's temperature.
And how do you know that global cooling is occurring on our planet right now?
Well, there's both science and history involved with that question. If we look back in 1882, that's when the weather started changing regularly. In 1882 to 1910, scientists saw that the Earth was the coldest it has ever been. But between 1910 to 1944, the Earth started to get very warm. They have been discovered that every 30 years or so, the climate is always going through changes.
That's interesting. So how can you tell that our Earth is going through this global change?
Well, if you don't recall, last year kids in elementary school and high school had 3 snow days. If global warming was happening, this would have not occurred. Also, Europe and Asia had their 3 coldest winters ever. North America's temperature had been dropping since 2006, but it's such a small percentage that no one can notice it. U.S. had one of its worst winters in 2011, and Ireland had their coldest winters since 1881.
So do you think that the Earth is done heating up for now?
Global warming is over, at least for a few decades. However, the bad news is that global cooling is even more harmful to humans than global warming, and even a greater concern.
Okay, and just before we cut to commercial, is there anything that people can do to prevent global cooling from happening?
Global cooling is not caused by pollution like global warming is. Making us walk or take the bus to work instead of driving doesn't change the fact that global cooling is still going to happen.
We are going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we will be talking more about global cooling.
Meet Norm. Every day Norm drove to work until one day it all went wrong. But along came the Michelin Man who reminded everyone that the right tire changes everything. And with winter tires in place, Norm's vehicle worked wonders on ice. Stop up to 8.8 feet shorter in icy conditions with Michelin X-Ice Xi2 tires. Michelin, a better way forward.
And we are back. So one of our news broadcasters went over to STA and asked some students on their thoughts on global cooling. Take a look.
Global warming is when the Earth warms. Global cooling is when the Earth cools. Global cooling is
2012. Really cold? Cold.
Well, global warming?
global cooling.
Cooling? Well, maybe it could be decrease in CO2 maybe.
Amanda, what do you think global cooling is? I think global cooling is basically the opposite of global warming, because global cooling. What do you think global cooling is?
It's when the Earth is getting colder.
So what do you think of the answers that the students gave out?
Well, yes, global cooling is the Earth getting colder, but it's not like our Earth just decides to get cold at a certain point. There are a lot of hidden information that even scientists don't know why global cooling is happening. Some say that the tilt of the Earth changes every couple of years, causing the changing of temperature. Others say it's just a natural event.
So how long should we be expecting cold weather for?
We should probably be expecting cold weather for another 10 to 20 years.
So will this affect our summer?
Yes, this will affect our summer, but not significantly.
Now we're going to take a look at an email sent from Stephen C. from Texas. He wants to know if our sun is losing its energy, therefore causing global cooling.
No, global cooling is not because the sun is losing its energy. It's global warming because the sun is giving out extra energy. Like I said before, there are many hypotheses, but no real answers have been discovered.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for sharing your information with us.